and welcome to Life with Jane. Today we are going to be doing 2 recipes with some short crust pastry. Now, I went into my local Sainsbury's supermarket and they had this yellow sticker one which was down to 49p, so it's half price, and I thought, oh, I can do something with that. So we have got 1 sheet of short crust pastry. So I am going to cut it in half and I'm going to make a sweet and a savoury recipe out of 1 sheet. So I'm going to cut it literally sort of straight down the middle, roughly eyeballing it. Like that. And then I'm going to just take this piece and move that out of the way to start off with. So let me just take, I've got some scissors, so I'm just going to take that down the middle. Okay, so I'm just going to move that out of the way to start off with, and then we'll come back to that one in a minute. So this half, like this, we're going to very simply and very easily, this is sort of leftovers, so I quite often buy the lighter green pesto. It hasn't got quite so much of a fat content to it, and it's just, what is it, 45% less fat. They do it in Sainsbury's, and I don't normally use more than, I use half a jar for different things. So we're going to do a very quick and simple pinwheel. Let me just grab myself a spoon. Will my spoon going? Yes, it will. Just a very quick and simple little recipe. So I'm going to take the rest of this pesto, which is about, well, let's do it in these are dessert spoons. So we want just a couple of spoons like this. In fact, I'm going to be a bit greedy and I'm going to finish off the rest of this jar. So it's about, what would we say, a tablespoon, I suppose, because these are dessert spoons. So 1.5 tablespoons, about half a jar. This is 190 grams, so maybe 50 grams or something. And then what I'm going to do is I am going to take it right to the edge. There's probably a little bit too much on here, but we'll work with it. So I'm going to take it right the way up to the edge. In fact, there is going to be way too much of this. I might have to put some back in the jar. I've got a clean spoon, so it's not going to make a huge amount of difference, but I'm going to take that back and put that back into the jar for now. And I'll have that on. Pesto is quite nice on all sorts of things. I even put it on sort of omelettes and stuff like that. So you want about a tablespoon, and you're just going to, if you're doing a whole one you could have a bit more, but for this I'm literally just rolling it up like this and just taking it right down to your edges. So you want it to come right to your edges. So I'm taking it right to the edge like that, and then I can just take this off so I don't waste any, and just put that in on there. Okay, so then all you're going to do is you're going to turn it round this way because we want it on the long, and you're just going to quite tightly start to roll it up. So the first little bit where you've got the pesto, you need to roll it so that the pesto comes in. And we're going to roll it all the way up. I'm doing it this way because you get more. You can do it the other way if you want to, but these are great little things if you're having parties and stuff. Very quick, very economical. I'm going to roll it down like that, and then all you're going to do is you're going to cut it. So I've got this knife, but I probably will do it with this one because it's sharper. So I'm literally just going to cut little piece like that, and I'm going to take it and put it that way around. Take it that way. It's very difficult with the pastry, and I'm doing it like this because we're going to flatten it. So we'll take it like this, and you can make quite a few of them. So this is sort of first recipe. And then we're going to do something with the other half. So let me, and these make nice little snacks, make nice little lunch things. You can add some sesame seeds, you can add some parmesan, you can add lots of other bits and pieces if you want to. I'm just keeping it very simple because it's rolled itself out a bit. I can take it in on here, so we've got a little bit that's come out at the end, but that's fine. I'm just going to take that up that way, take that up that way. Okay, then what we need to do is we need to literally just flatten this. Now you can flatten it with a rolling pin, you can flatten it with, the easiest thing is to take, what do we do with our spoon? I don't know whether I've got the spoon. I'm going to do it with this one because everybody's got a spoon. So all you're going to do is you're just going to flatten it down a bit, and then you're going to put it onto the tray. So let me just show you. It's about like that. So let me just flatten these ones down, because as they cook you're going to have all of that. And as I say, you can do it with the rolling pin if you want to. It's as easy to do it with the spoon, but you're going to get, you get these lovely little sort of pinwheels coming through. Put them in like that, and obviously the pesto comes through in the circle. This just gives it a little bit of a extra piece on here. Now this is the one that I've got quite a lot of pesto because it was at the end, but that'll be fine. I'm going to do it the other way up. And we're also looking at doing it all on one tray as well, so you're only going to put it in the oven once. So I'm just putting these onto, I'll show you when I've done them all. I'm literally just flattening it down with the spoon, because then as it rises in the oven you have this nice little pinwheels, and it's a great way of getting them. As I say, you can, if you wanted to, is to take the paper over and squash them down that way, but I'm quite happy to do it with the spoon. I'm hoping I'm going to get it all in on here. I think I should. And we'll count up and see how many we've got out of this. So right, let me just take that out of the way because we don't want that bit now. Bring this back in like that. So you've got all of your little pinwheels, there we go, all the little pinwheels like that on there, and I'm just going to literally just move some of them up just a tad, because what I want to try and do is to put the other piece in underneath. In fact, I'm going to have to do them separately. I was going to try and get them both on there. These will only take 10 minutes, so I'm just going to stick those in the oven, because they might actually be finished by the time I close the oven. They might be finished by the time I've done the other recipe. So that's the first one, and then out of the second piece, which is here, so this is the other one. I need to just wipe my hands because I don't want pesto on this, because this is going to be a sweet one. So let me just clean my hands off, dry them on the tea towel. There we go. Right, so this one, open this one up now. Oops. There we go. Just put it on there. Okay, now this I'm just going to make a little bit bigger. Not a lot, just a little bit. If you have a rolling pin, so I'm just going to roll it up that way just a little bit, and then just this way just a little bit. Not a lot, so we've just made it just a little bit bigger because they're always quite quite thick. You can still see it's quite thick pastry. So this one we are going to, if you remember, I bought this, which is, sorry you can't see it, I bought this, which is the brandy mincemeat. So we're going to use some of that, only a little bit because I'm using it for other things. If I can, I should have opened it beforehand, shouldn't I? Can I just, yes I can. Oh. Okay, so we're going to put some of this in, so this is clean. So we're going to put some of this in now. Am I doing, yes, I'm going to do a big one of this, then it can be cut down. So this, I'm going to take the mincemeat and we're going to put it just in half one of these. Let's just take some out like this. Okay, so that is probably again like a tablespoon. So we want to take that and we're going to put this in half like that. In fact, I might even get to get some more. So I'm just making sure that I'm just doing it across the half. So it's probably about half a jar? No, third of a jar. So let me just bring it up there so to make sure I'm in the centre. Yes I am. Right, so that's that, and then we're going to do something else with it as well, but not in this one. That'll come in for next week's. Otherwise I have so much to eat I won't know what to do with myself. And then I've got just taken an apple and just chopped the apple, and we're going to put the apple in on top. So I don't know whether I'll get a whole apple in on there. We'll see. I just chopped it quite small. I might be able to actually. I am going to put it in because I don't mind it being a little bit over the top. So that's one of the gala, the red apples, because I love those apples, and I'm just putting that in on top like that. I take this, I'm not in on the light, so I can just flatten that down a bit. Okay, then we want a little bit of milk. You can use egg if you want to, but for a sweet recipe I tend to use milk. And I'm just going to take a little, just want a tiny little bowl, or a tiny little, hold it, just get something that I've got to just put my fingers in. So this is just a tiny little old butter dish. I'm just going to put a little drop of milk in there. You don't want a lot. Put my milk back in the fridge. Okay, so we are just going to put the milk round the edge so we have a nice seal. So round the edge like that, and then that gives us a nice seal. And it's going to be like a little pie. So we need to take this piece and we need to take this over the top so it comes to where the edge is. Turn it round, and we're just going to flatten it down so so it's sealed. You want it to be sealed all the way round. Now this would feed 3 people probably for pudding, maybe even 4 if you had just small portions. So let's make this look a little bit pretty. So I'm going to take the bottom of a fork or bottom of a spoon, and I'm just going to, in on here with the spoon, I'm just going to seal the edges. So we're just going to go all the way around, which just makes it look a little bit prettier. Like that. And then if you put your fork or spoon or whatever on that side, and you're just going to bring it down in on the centre, put your finger there, just bring it down, and it gives a nice sort of scallop edge to it, so it makes it look a bit pretty, like that, because those edges will be nice and crispy. Put that around like that. There we are. So we've got a really lovely pretty piece on there. We need to put a little hole in the centre, so I could put maybe 3, because you want to let the steam out. So 3 little crosses like that, and that will let the steam out. Then we need to go over again with the milk. Like this. Around that way. I like to do it with my fingers because you can feel exactly where you're going. As I said, I'm very much a old style cook. Okay, so that's fine like that. And then to just finish it off, I'm just going to take, let me just grab some out of the cupboard. I'm just going to take a little bit of sugar, and literally you only need just a little pinch, and you're literally going to just sprinkle some sugar over the top, because that'll give it a nice crispy and round on the little pastry pieces like that. Okay, and then that's going to go into the oven at 180 for, that will probably take about 15 minutes. And you just want it to be lovely and beautiful. So come back shortly and we'll see exactly how it's all turned out. Hello, well, they're both out of the oven. So we have, let's start with these ones. So these are the lovely little pesto pinwheels, and again a lovely little snack to have, which are absolutely delicious. They've all browned up beautifully and brown on the bottom, so they're nice and crispy. And you've got the lovely pesto. As I say, you could grate a little bit of cheese on them just before you took them out if you want to, or some parmesan. You know, put a little bit of chutney on there as you eat them. But again, great little party snacks as well if you're having friends over for the evening or whatever, nibbles and wine or what have you. So that's that one. And then the other one is this beautiful, beautiful pie. So again, you know, pasty, beautiful crimped edges. It's come out beautifully with the sugar on top. And again, this is something that you could have for a pudding. As I say, if you cut it into one, you could cut it into 4. It would certainly serve 4. Now, am I going to cut it open? Yes, I am. I was debating whether I should cut it open because I wasn't going to eat it straight away, but I will. I'll cut a little piece off of this part, so it'll, or actually I could cut it in, I'll cut it in half because then I'll have it in 4. So let's just take it. Again, it's going to be hot because it's just come from the oven, but you can see how the pastry is lovely and crispy. And I'm just going to open it like that. So you've still got the apples, which are still have held together beautifully, but you can see in there you've got the lovely filling in there. So I hope you enjoyed that. As always, please stay safe and well. Please be kind, and look forward to seeing you next week for some more Foodie Friday. Bye bye.